Welcome, guys. I wanted to make a review about a product that I have been using for over 4 years, and it's been working technically perfectly for me. And I'm actually surprised nowadays that you can have something for so many years and work for you flawlessly. I had two problems with this particular unit, and these are very minute problems. One problem was mine. When I was actually washing the machine, I twisted the glass tank a little bit too hard, and it cracked on me. And that's the tank for the water. That was right when the COVID started. You remember, and I already had so this machine is even more than 4 years, because I remember I already had the machine for about a year. I sent them an email asking them if this is something that can be repairable. They asked me to send them the machine back. It took a little bit longer. I think it was like over a month by the time they got to it, is because they were short on staff, since people could not come to work, right, because of the COVID. However, they replaced the glass tank, and I got the unit sent back, and I was very, very, very happy, just for the fact is that I was using a Ninja coffee maker, and those two are so far apart, it's not even funny. And that just showed me how amazing the coffee comes out of these units. They're really, really worth it. The second one, and that happens very rarely, it can happen like every 3 months or every 2 months, is that when I try to turn on the coffee maker, it blinks. The light blinks, like all three of them. So what I do is I unplug and I plug it back in, and it's just, I guess, it resets a circuit breaker or whatever. That happened a few times. And like I said, it's and it's not happening more and more and more, so I'm not like scared that it's just something that's progressing to near that is gonna fail. Now the coffee maker is called it's by the company Ratio, and this is a Ratio 8 model. When I was buying it, there was different options. I just went on their website to check what's going on. So they have a Ratio 6 coffee makers and stuff like that. They still have options for colors. So they had white, black, silvers, light, and different colors. They also have a different choice for wood. They also have a choice for the glass tank, to be BPA plastic or glass, and also technically any internal pathway where the water travels, it's also glass and stuff like that. So this was a selling point. When I looked for a coffee maker, I was looking for two things, to make a good coffee, okay, and the second one was no plastic. This was literally the only coffee maker that I could find for home that actually was made out of metal. Even some expensive coffee machines, they do have plastic components. Another one is that I've learned is some people kind of were talking about that this coffee maker does not have a heat plate. So one thing is there's, from what I learned, there's a very specific amount of time how much you can pour the hot water through the coffee. If it's gonna be too long, what happens is later when your coffee is cold, it starts to taste better. This is a very common thing when you, like I noticed personally, at least from Dunkin' Donuts, once the coffee gets cold, it starts to taste like crap pretty much, or your gas station coffees and stuff like that. If you make your coffee within like 2-3 minute time, for example, the coffee will not, I think there's a bitterness or something that it starts to turn because it's just being overheated, which is a common thing where it's like when you use a hot plate, you notice these things at work too. So this coffee does not do that. This coffee maker, I think it's makes a perfect coffee, and even when it's cold, it still tastes delicious. So that's why I love this coffee maker so much. And another option, I think, from what I remember, was that this particular model is still made in the United States, and they had an option. It was a US made, and I know they also had a cheaper version that was made in China. So this one particular, it was made in US. It's got the option for this is insulated mug for 8 cups that matches the color, with the top for the Chemex paper filters. And that's another thing is I used to buy those coffee the cup paper Chemex filters, and then during the COVID they were kind of out of stock. You had to wait for it. So I found a solution, stainless steel. Same thing as I had it for 3-4 years in the beginning, because when you even buy these Chemex filters, these things are not cheap. They actually kind of pile up, eventually. Plus on top of it, that you couldn't get it, that kind of forced me to look for a replacement, which was a good thing. I technically use this is a glass one, okay, and it works really good. And I'll show you how that beautiful coffee maker looks. Okay, let me adjust my camera. Now what's important is that, and I'll show you, because this is gonna steam, right? You'll see, make sure that if you have cabinets, your coffee maker is not underneath the cabinets, because it will damage the bottom. Now there are standards for cabinet heights. So these cabinets, they technically have about a little bit over 18 inches, which is a standard, okay? This coffee maker is about 14 inches and change, okay? So technically you have 4 inches of clearance. So if you have an open space, like for example, like I have on this side, right, not a problem. But if you're gonna do it underneath a cabinet, okay, make sure that you got plenty of space, and you do not push this all the way in, because the damage will be caused to your cabinets. Okay, so the way this kind of works is, okay, put the stainless steel cone in there. And as far as the strength of coffee and what type of ground, obviously that's going to be really up to you. Okay. And these mesh coffee cones, sometimes they get clogged up. You can put it into dishwasher or just soak it in and let it clean up. Because what happens is, like, it depends how much coffee you brewed, but sometimes this will kind of overfill a little bit, and you might have a coffee kind of coming down. The water. So I have a lot of filters at home, but I actually still even filter through the pitch. So find yourself a line, let's say, and how much coffee you want, and this is something you'll have to experiment with. Okay, so you get perfect ratio water to perfect ratio of coffee, right? And then all you do is press this button. Okay, so first it's gonna heat it up. Then what it's gonna do is through a couple drops of water, and these couple of drops of water, I don't know if you can call it a prime coffee, but what happens is it soaks them a little bit with hot water, and the gases out of the coffee will kind of go up. So it does not actually, these gases do not end up in your coffee. So it's like everything, like I said, the way that this machine makes coffee, to the taste of the coffee, I think it's as perfect as you actually can get. I would absolutely not change anything about this coffee maker. And if it ever breaks, like I said, this coffee was $1,000, and after so long, I would buy another one without even thinking about it. Because if you cannot think about how much you spend per coffee, how much money some people spend on coffee, it's kind of crazy. So as you see, it will drip a little bit. Okay. Okay, so I'm not gonna put you through the agony and watch how the whole kind of coffee gets done from the beginning to the end. But hopefully, if you are on the market for a good coffee, let me see, for a good coffee, this is technically, I think you can go wrong with this one. It's a really, 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 really good coffee. So thank you for watching. I do appreciate your time, and have a good one. Thank you.